Hello, world! It's time, baby!
In association with the Right Eye Productions broadcast, I'm Leah, and here's what's coming up on this episode.
In life, you're going to face criticisms. People who kick you while you're down, step on you to make themselves feel bigger, and leave you standing there like a clown.
Welcome to Tie It Nite.
Hey, Ty, what's up?
You give me hope.
You make me want to be a better man.
I love your shows.
Who is on our phone tonight?
This is Heather.
Heather, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, okay. Could be better.
Well, what's going on? Thanks so much for being a friend. How can we help?
Very good. He's talented.
Now, this is my kind of show.
It's a really cool.
So, can we address the elephant in the room? Why do people criticize other people? Well, according to Psychology Today and other online data, people criticize others for various reasons. Well, they might feel threatened. Perhaps they want to exert dominance. Or they simply want to make others look bad. Maybe they want the attention for themselves. Now, they might even have strong opinions about a subject, despite not even indulging in that specific subject for themselves. Well, the list goes on and on. But that open-ended answer, well, it's still waiting to be answered. Why? Maybe they seek admiration and approval. They feel devalued by the behavior and attitude of others. That's pretty sad. Well, simply put, to detect it as important to understand what motivates people to criticize, reassert their power, to complain, or simply humiliate. Now, in the language of the self-help and recovery movement, these folks are often suffering themselves from a disorder. This according to a Harvard Business Review, and criticism is normally a behavior that is fairly deep-seated and something that many people carry with them for much of their life. So what do? Well, some would say that criticizing others is well past where it all started, which some would say is bullying. I myself have definitely been on the bad end of being bullied and picked on, especially when I was a kid. So you ask yourself, do words hurt? Hell, yes, they do. Not only do they hurt, they can send us down a spiral of pain. It is very important to be mindful of our words and try to only speak words of life, kindness, and love. I remember thinking about this very same subject years ago, and I was doing country radio at a terrestrial station. I did my air shift and was going through some things in life, and some friends of mine were experiencing some pain of what others were doing and saying. And a new song had just come out by the artist name of Jared Neiman, God Could Only Love You More. And I took that and made a video, and I posted it online under a different YouTube channel, but it's out there now at about 500,000 plays and a ton of positive comments. This, again, years ago. So this subject right here, obviously very important. Words do hurt. Being overcritical to somebody can really cause harm to their emotional value in life, to their attempted growth and maneuverability to try to cope and get through this thing called life, including all of these struggles, the trials, and the circumstances we all face. Criticizing somebody can make them feel small. Being overcritical towards somebody can also make a person steer away from you, turn the other cheek, so to speak, look the other way and not want to hang out with you anymore. I remember a time I was working at a radio station, which collectively we were able to get to one of the top spots, backed behind 50,000 watts in one of the most beautiful and best cities to do radio in the country. But I, myself, unfortunately, was facing some issues that I couldn't do the cliche thing in life where they say, check all your personal problems at the door before you come inside. Well, sometimes that was a bit harder to do. At one point, recognizing that it seemed to others that I was walking around life with a rain cloud hanging over my head, something that was difficult to get from under. But I did. They say if you want to be successful in life, surround yourself with successful and, I'll even add, positive people. People who influence you, who encourage you, who hold out their hand and help you along the way of this thing called life. Not beat you down and sling words at you as to cake up your face with negativity and hurtful emotions. Downplaying your efforts in life, telling you stay in your lane. You won't be good enough. Brings me to a story that I remember years ago. In my early radio days, there was a radio DJ who was struggling. And back then, if you talked on the radio, you were a DJ. Like the old school TV show WKRP in Cincinnati. You remember Johnny Fever and Les Nesman? Those were DJs, or jocks as they were called. But as time went on, the DJ ultimately evolved into what is now known as an air talent personality. In the old days, people simply wanted to hear a song. Fast forward to modern day radio, people are more in tune with the person actually talking on the air. Somebody who's positive, influential, caring, and empathetic, not critical. Well, that analogy doesn't only have to do with radio, but in this case, that radio DJ I spoke of went through life and struggled day in and day out. Oh yeah, sure, he spun the records and did what the big suits asked him to do, but he wanted more. He wanted to broaden his horizons, expand and grow. All the while, the big suits, fans, and even some of his friends criticized him, squashed him to make him feel small, telling him just keep doing what you're doing, don't do anything else. Stay in your lane. Well, that DJ continued on with his path, pressing on and sometimes even pushing buttons of others who just didn't want anything to do with it. Yep, he got fired several times, got laid off. It became very difficult in his life, taking a toll on his emotional status and his own family life. Well, he kept on and on and on, learning how to become callous to those who were overly critical of him and what his passion was about and what he wanted to do in life. That DJ started taking it even further. He grew. He worked hard at his craft. He wrote a book, even starred in his own movie, and one of the first to do the unthinkable. He jumped from the traditional FM terrestrial radio stations to satellite radio, bringing a new life and a rejuvenation to satellite radio that many never heard before. Again, working hard at his craft. Later on, he co-hosted a nationally televised talent show. It is still doing radio today. You ask, Ty, who is this radio DJ? Was it somebody you know or somebody you went to school with when I was getting into radio? No, but I will tell you this, that radio DJ bypassed those critics, ignoring them, going on to become one of the richest, most powerful, and influential voices of radio to ever sit behind a microphone. That DJ, that man, is Howard Stern. Like him or hate him, he proved his point. He didn't have to stay in one lane to get through life. In my opinion, he created his own highway of life. And that doesn't only have to apply to radio. It applies to anything. If you are waiting tables or wanting to grow within the restaurant business, well, don't stay in one lane. Move around, just like you are in traffic. Let's say you got a 3-lane highway. You slide onto the highway there, merging into that right lane till you get comfortable. Then maybe you want to head over one lane to the left, get in that center lane. Big truckers call that the hammer lane. So you're cruising along there, maybe you need to pass somebody. So you do so safely. You slip into that left lane, pass those people, wave to them as they go by, give them a big smile, and safely slip back into that hammer lane, or the middle lane if you will, and eventually over into that right lane again. That is you maneuvering around traffic. That's the same way in life. You don't have to just stay in one lane to get from point A to point B. You may not be able to see the end of the road of life right now. You may not know where you're headed, but at least you're on your way. So I encourage you, whatever field or career you're involved in right now, whatever steps you want to take to get to that next level, do it. Ignore those critics and simply create your own highway of life.
This has been another edition of Ty at Night.
Follow us on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and guess what? Now on Spotify. And of course, TyAtNight.com, a White Eye Productions broadcast.